This is definitely a severely underrated sci-fi series. For many fans, the Terminator series has always been a headache. No matter how disappointing Arnold's performances in other movies might be, we still choose to support him unconditionally because he is one of the creators of the Terminator. Back in the VCD era, Terminator 2, Judgment Day perfectly showcased the charm of movies and unveiled the curtain of sci-fi for many fans. It shows how Skynet sent the latest model robot, T-1000, through time to assassinate the human leader to win the war. This time, their target was the young Connor. At the same time, another robot known as the Terminator, T800, also traveled through time to protect the Savior, the young Connor, who was unaware of the impending crisis from the future. Connor's mother, Sarah, having personally experienced the entire event, knew the horrors of future technology. She attempted to blow up the computer factory to fundamentally dismantle the budding of the Skynet's enlightenment, but failed and was admitted to a mental hospital for treatment. Helped by the T-800, John wanted to rescue his mother, but the T-1000 found them too, and the T-800 had to protect them. The kid was thinking he was going to die, but he's still tightly protected by the T-800. After ensuring Connor's safety, Arnold began his attack. Unfortunately, this was the latest liquid metal robot whose bullet holes instantly healed, even the clothes magically restored. But this is not the end. The two non-human entities tore at each other, against the walls. The T-800 was clearly no match, taking several solid hits and being thrown out the window. Seeing the situation was bad, Connor quickly rode his beloved little motorcycle to escape. The new robot T-1000 was unstoppable and started chasing him immediately. But Connor managed to escape from him. The robot stole a truck, tossing the driver and hitting other cars in the process. Now, the savior of the future, John Connor, is being chased by an ultimate generation Terminator. Connor quickly rushed into the ramp, and after running for a long time without seeing the enemy, he secretly breathed a sigh of relief. But the next moment, nightmare started again. A big truck came from out of nowhere and started chasing him. The T-1000 was back, determined to accomplish his mission. Arnold rode a big Harley, showing off his unique reloading style that makes the blood boil. T-1000 drove the big truck on the flood channel, hitting a wall with the truck, instantly turning it into a convertible, as if the air conditioning wasn't working. Connor was scared, thinking this was the end. Arnold arrived just in time, picked up Connor onto his own Harley and blew out the tire. The big truck lost control, crashed into the bridge, and the fuel tank exploded instantly. Arnold also stopped, reloaded his shotgun, and aimed, but after a long time, there was no movement. Only then did Arnold safely take Connor away from the scene. But not long after the T-1000 came out the flames, and it's ready to get back to hunt the Connors immediately. As part of his plan, we see the T-1000 in the courtyard using his morphing capabilities, slowly transforming into the guard in front of him and killed the guard. Sarah broke into the command room, took down all the guards and loaded a syringe with paraquat and took the director hostage, forcing the staff to take out the key and open the cell door. At the same time, the alarm sounded instantly. Sarah quickly ran barefoot, opening layer after layer of cell doors, breaking the key. Now, no one could stop her. But when the elevator opened, Sarah panicked again. It was the Terminator who had destroyed everything. Sarah quickly fled back, instantly pinned to the ground by several staff members. Arnold picked up these guys like chicks. At this time, Connor also quickly ran over to his mother. T-1000 was ready to kill. Arnold quickly used the shotgun's powerful impact to try to stop the T-1000 and gain time to reach the elevator. After a gunshot, T-1000's head was split in half, but it quickly returned to normal, prying open the elevator door and jumping down, launching a frenzied attack below the elevator. Sarah was unfortunately scratched on the shoulder. Fortunately, the elevator stopped in the underground parking lot in time. Arnold snatches a police car and T-1000 also drips down from the cracked hole, forming instantly, and began to chase on foot. Leaping, both hands turned into hooks, the whole body hung on the small car, climbing, like rock climbing. Arnold shoots his hand and breaks it. T-1000 instantly rolls down, falling far behind. Connor picked up the broken hook and threw it on the street. This time, Sarah is a bit scared and begins to scold Connor. The future human leader didn't need to risk coming to save her. Connor, hearing this, cried aggrievedly. But he didn't refute, just did what a son should do. Only Arnold, through the rearview mirror, saw the tears in Connor's eyes, showing a trace of thought that a robot shouldn't have. Arnold entered an abandoned warehouse before the car ran out of fuel. Sarah used pliers to pull out a deformed bullet from his body, then, under the guise of checking the system, peeled back Arnold's scalp, revealing the mechanical skull inside. The moment she removed the CPU, Arnold fell into a daze. Sarah placed the CPU on the table, picked up a sledgehammer, and was ready to destroy it. Connor quickly stopped her. No matter how much Sarah didn't trust robots, Arnold was now there to protect them and was their only reliable strength. Sarah ultimately had to compromise. The next day, with the help of an old friend, they finally had some means of self-defense. Sarah watched Connor and T800 playing and couldn't help but feel emotional. Perhaps the Terminator is the best companion for this child. As her thoughts continued to extend, Sarah's fear of the future deepened. Destiny must be controlled by herself. Thinking of this, Sarah left alone. She wanted to kill the genius engineer who created the Skynet system, just like T-1000 hunted Connor, to nip everything in the bud. For the future of 3 billion people, she had to become a hunter once. Sarah arrived at the genius engineer Dyson's residence under the cover of night. The red ginkgo kept spraying until all the bullets were exhausted. Sarah calmly rushed into the already ruined office. Dyson fled in panic but was still shot in the shoulder. Sarah just wanted to quickly end his sinful life, but Dyson's family tightly protected him. Dyson trembled and kept begging. Sarah's emotions grew more agitated, but the trigger in her hand remained unpulled. Seeing Dyson's painful expression, Sarah gradually calmed down. There was still a hint of almost making a big mistake. At this time, Arnold brought Connor and arrived just in time, trying to comfort the heavy-hearted. Connor chose to explain the truth with facts. He handed Arnold a small knife, then took Dyson's child into the room. Arnold used the knife to cut open his arm, then tore off the outer skin, revealing the steel mechanical arm. This terrifying scene stunned the Dyson couple. Only then did Arnold explain the truth of the future to them. After hearing it, Dyson shook his head and smiled bitterly. He never imagined that the disaster of 3 billion deaths in the future would originate from his creation. But judging him for a crime based on an unoccurred future was both ridiculous and somewhat sad. Despite the facts before him, after a bout of complaints, Dyson had an epiphany and decided to resign the next day and destroy all information. But they still had to go to the lab because there was a Terminator chip inside. The company picked it up from the remains of the last hunter. So, they went to the lab overnight, directly taking the unreasonable guards hostage, but were still discovered and the silent alarm was triggered. Dyson's magnetic card instantly lost its function. Fortunately, the genius hacker Connor could crack it, but it needed some time. So Arnold and others went to Dyson's office, directly using force to destroy the firewall, then put on gas masks and began to destroy all the data in the office. Dyson also painfully smashed the semi-finished CPU that took years of effort. But at the same time, the police surrounded the entire company. To hold these guys off, Arnold stepped forward, kicked down the table, stood on the high floor, and started shooting with a Gatling gun spewing blue fire. The little police below had never seen such a formation and were incapable of keeping up, quickly scattering. Arnold only stopped after emptying the Gatling gun, then switched to a shotgun to create an explosion. Seeing the chaos below without causing casualties, he was satisfied and turned to leave. Faced with the counterattack of the little police, he directly ignored it. At this time, Connor also successfully cracked the password and got the base key. He and Dyson worked together to turn the switch, then took out the chip and a Terminator's mechanical arm. Just as they were about to flee, the police broke in first, launching a frenzied attack without a word. Caught off guard, Dyson was hit in a vital spot. Arnold broke through the wall, taking Sarah and her son from the next room. After persuading the police to leave, the tense nerves finally relaxed. The violent explosion instantly ignited the entire building. A lovely and respectable genius scientist quietly sacrificed his life. Arnold rushed out of the elevator under a hail of bullets, still following Connor's order not to kill. But he broke their legs and then used a truck to take Sarah and her son away. At the same time, T-1000 arrives at the scene, riding a motorcycle up the stairs to the rooftop. Through the chaos, he saw the escaping truck, directly riding the motorcycle from a 100-meter-high building, hanging on a helicopter, slipping through the broken glass and then chasing in Arnold's direction. A low-altitude battle ensued. Sarah laid thick bulletproof vests on the car door and then exchanged fire, but soon lost, being hit hard. Seeing the situation was bad, Arnold braked sharply. The helicopter couldn't stop in time and crashed, instantly disintegrating at low altitude. But the truck also rolled on the ground due to the strong impact. Fortunately, no one was injured. At this time, T-1000 also seizes a liquid nitrogen truck and comes again. Arnold and others quickly got into a small broken car, but unfortunately, this car was a piece of crap and couldn't pick up enough speed. Quickly caught up by the liquid nitrogen truck, squeezed onto the curb, sparks flying all the way. Arnold took the opportunity to hand the car to Connor, then took out the machine gun and started shooting at T-1000's face, directly turning him into a sieve. Then he took the opportunity to turn the steering wheel, causing the car to fall. Free liquid nitrogen instantly spread, covering T-1000's entire body. With the addition of low temperature, the body was quickly frozen. Arnold pulls out a pistol and directly shatters T-1000, finally resolving the crisis.